You ever have one of those nights where you're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and you suddenly realize, damn, I'm living the same day on repeat. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't care, but because somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like the main character in your own story. Today, I want to talk about that. Not in a motivational poster way, but in a real, honest way. I've been there too kind of way. Look, I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to tell you that waking up at 5 a.m. magically fixes your life. Oh, that you need a 47-step morning routine made by a guy who hasn't felt an emotion since 2015. I'm just here to share the stuff I've learned the hard way. The psychology, the philosophy, the small habits that actually matter, and the mistakes that kept me stuck way longer than I'd like to admit. So let's get into it. 1. The quiet feeling that you're behind. Most guys don't talk about this, but almost every man in his 20s feels like he's behind. Behind in confidence, behind financially, behind socially, behind in discipline. And the crazy part, no one told us what we're supposed to be ahead of. Just carry this invisible scoreboard around like someone's judging us. Here's the truth I wish I learned years ago. You're not behind. You're just comparing your raw footage to someone else's highlight reel. One of my biggest weaknesses was this constant pressure to catch up. It made me rush everything, rush my progress, rush my goals, even rush my sense of identity. And when you rush identity, you create a version of yourself that looks good on the outside, but collapses.
Was it as easy as it looked?
It's heavy.
No.
2. The mask problem and why many men feel disconnected. Let me share something personal. For years, I wore this "I've got everything figured out" mask. I thought confidence meant never showing vulnerability, never admitting that I was confused, lonely, overwhelmed. But here's what psychology actually tells us. When you hide your real struggles, your brain starts to treat your fake identity as a threat. And the more effort you put into protecting the mask, the weaker the real you becomes. That's why so many men feel disconnected from themselves. It's not because we're broken, it's because we're pretending. Real transformation doesn't happen when you build a new mask. It happens when you stop hiding from the messy parts of your life. 3. Why self-improvement has become so confusing. Here's a hot take. Self-improvement is way harder than it needs to be because most advice is built for content, not real life. People say, just be disciplined. Just chase your purpose. Okay, but how? What's step 1 if you're actually struggling? What if you don't feel motivated? What if life is hitting you harder than usual? I used to feel guilty for not being the perfect, disciplined guy, but then I learned something important. You can't build discipline on shame. You build discipline on clarity. Most guys don't need more motivation. They need fewer mental tabs open. Simplify your life, even a little, and suddenly discipline becomes something you can do, not something you fail at. 4. The real reason you feel stuck is not what you think. Let me be brutally honest with myself too. The times I felt the most stuck weren't because I was lazy. It was because I was living in mental autopilot mode. You know what that looks like? Scrolling even though you're not enjoying it, thinking about changing, but not taking the first step, feeling overwhelmed by all the things you could do, wanting improvement, but not wanting to start from zero. What I realized is this: you don't feel stuck because you're weak. You feel stuck because you stop doing things that remind you you're capable. Small wins matter more than huge goals. Not because they're impressive, but because they rebuild trust in yourself. 5. The identity shift, the only change that actually lasts. Let's talk philosophy for a second. Hey, there's a concept I love called identity before action. Most people try to change their habits to become the kind of person they want to be. But in reality, you become that person first, in small ways. The habits follow. For example, instead of "I want to get fit," try "I'm the kind of person who takes care of his body." Instead of "I want to be disciplined," try "I'm becoming a man who keeps promises to himself." Identity is powerful. It's the quiet voice in your head that tells you who you are when no one's watching. And once that shifts, everything else becomes easier. 6. A simple 3-step framework to build a self you're proud of. This is the stuff I wish someone told me years ago. It's simple, but it works. Step 1. Reduce the noise. Delete one app. Move one distraction. Simplify one part of your life. You can't build a focused life inside a cluttered mind. STEP to add one daily anchor, not 10, not a whole morning routine. It's one thing that proves you're moving forward. A 10-minute walk, 20 push-ups, 15 minutes reading a cold shower. Simple to do with one task. Small anchors create big stability. Step 3. Track identity, not outcomes. Ask yourself every night, did I act like the man I'm trying to become today? It's not perfect, not productive enough. Just, did I move like him? The answer is yes, even once. You're winning. Seth. Closing message. The part most people never hear. Look, man, you don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to become a different person. You don't need to grind until you burn out. You just need to reconnect with that version of you that's been buried under expectations, distractions, and self-pressure. The real you isn't lost. He's just quiet right now. But every small promise you keep, every honest moment you have with yourself, every step you take, even if it's tiny, that's you coming back. If you're still here, thank you. I'm genuinely glad you're trying to grow, and I hope this video helped, even just a little. If you want more content like this, I post new videos every week. But either way, take care of yourself. You're doing better than you think.